Yep, you already know who it is, man. It's King Gade with the Wizards Review. And man, today, man, overall, man, was just a bad day in DC sports all the way around. You know what I mean? I was already dejected by the Commanders' loss today, just a devastating loss. So I was already down, and I didn't like our chances going into this game. The Wizards' chances going into the game against the Grizzlies tonight with the performance they displayed on Friday night. You know what I mean? So I was optimistic that they would come out with more focus and more heart. You know what I mean? Because that's something that they do. You know what I mean? Like, they lose bad one game, and then the next game, you know, they just come back and play much better than they did the previous game. Bradley Beal didn't play tonight. You know what I mean? There were a few people, Johnny Davis, Vernon Carey, sent to the G League. So the rotation was a little lighter in a sense tonight as well. You know what I mean? And, you know, we went down big. It looked ugly. It looked like another blowout loss was about to occur. But to the Wizards' credit, you know what I mean? They fought back, made the game respectable. But ultimately, whether you lose by 30 or whether you lose by 1, a loss is a loss. It's an L. You know what I mean? So another loss, another disappointing loss. I mean, I'm just not feeling good today. So, man, let's just get right into it, man. Now, since we lost the game, I'm going to start with some of the things that I liked during the game. And first, I felt off jump, you could feel that they came in with more focus. They came in just with a mindset that they weren't going to embarrass themselves tonight. And that's how the game started. They started off on a 9-0 run, so the offense was crisp. But unfortunately, when the Grizz called a timeout, came back, the Wizards couldn't sustain their hot start. You know what I mean? But I did like the fact that they at least started with some heart. You know what I mean? I felt that Porzingis initially, I liked how he started the game. I did not like how he finished the game, but I'll get back into that a little later. But I felt he was aggressive. He was spearheading the aggressiveness, and I did like how he started the game, like I mentioned. I also thought that Kuzma started well, and again, I didn't like the way he finished the game as well. But I felt that Kuzma, you know, he pushed the pace. He was facilitating the offense. He was looking a little bit like the Kuzma that ended the season last season. You know what I mean? Just doing a little bit of everything. He had a double-double tonight. You know what I mean? But he didn't shoot the ball well. But he still he started the game well, and I did like that. I like the fact that Denny was trying to get to the basket, being aggressive. Well, I kind of like it, you know what I'm saying? Because when I say I kind of like it, ultimately you want your players to be aggressive and take the ball to the hole, and Denny has the body, the size to do that. But he's just not an NBA level offensive player. You know what I mean? I just come to that conclusion. I've heard all the stories about how he's putting up 20 plus points when he's playing for Israel and things of that nature. But in the NBA, he doesn't look like a good scorer at all. His jump shot looks suspect. His three-point shot looks suspect. You know what I mean? But his defense is quality defense. I'm not going to say elite. He's a decent defender. But when you get an elite offensive player against him, he gets exposed just like anybody else on the team. You know what I mean? But I did like that he was trying to, get to the basket. I felt our defense started strong, and then we just let up. But then in the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, we stepped our defense up to close the lead. Even took the lead in the fourth quarter for a brief moment. So there were stretches within the game where we played great defense, but we got down 20-plus points, and that's just unacceptable. You know what I mean? That's just unacceptable, especially after you lost your previous game by 40-plus. You know what I mean? It's unacceptable to go down 20-plus points back-to-back games in the NBA, man. Like, I don't like that at all, but I did see some glimpses of good defense at times throughout the game. Our bench was extremely impactful tonight, especially in the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter, in the second half, basically. You know what I mean? They were extremely impactful, and they were a big reason why we even got back into the game. And this is another thing, I'm going to get to the things that I dislike. But when you find as a coach, when you find a combination that's working, especially when things weren't working earlier, you stick with that combination until the game is over. You just stick with it. I know that you got starters. I know you got big money players. And, you know what I mean? I already understand all that. But they weren't getting it done. The bench was getting it done. And then you take the bench players that were getting it done when we had the lead in the fourth quarter, you bench them and put the starters back in, and then we start to lose again. You know what I mean? So I give big credit to our bench tonight. Rui was very impactful off the bench, was a spearhead in the comeback in the third to fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Rui played a great game in the second half. I just wish he could bring that, you know, in the first half and just be consistent. You know what I mean? He is consistent because he scores double digits off the bench. He's averaging 10 points plus this season. So he is being consistent off the bench. So you got to give him a little credit for that. He's seeing the floor a little better from the offensive end, but there was lapses in his defense at times tonight, especially off-ball defense. And he's just going to have to get better, and I think he will. But he's becoming a go-to guy off the bench. And for him to step up and help us come back was very big. So I definitely like that. Goodwin. I don't know why we're not seeing more of Goodwin. I don't understand why. Like, we need players on the court that play like this is their only chance to stay in the league. Like, we got to have more. He's like, one thing that us Wizards fans have been saying for this whole season, and maybe at times last season too, especially after the trades, but definitely this season, is we don't have dogs on the team. We don't have dogs. Our leader, Bradley Beal, our best player, or our second best player, Kristaps Porzingis, they're good, skilled, but they're finesse players. You know what I mean? They aren't dogs. They're not dogs. You know what I mean? And for our 12th man off the bench to be the dog, well, 15th man, whatever, one of our end of the bench guards that barely gets any time, but anytime he gets in, he plays like a dog, does whatever it takes to try to get a win. You know what I mean? I looked at his box score, and he had a little bit of everything tonight. I mean, hold on. Let me look at it. I mean, hold on, man. Goodwin had a plus 12, first of all, on the floor. A plus 12 on the floor, and we lost by 6 points. And he was taking out the game when we were making our comeback and took the lead in the fourth quarter, which makes no sense. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals and a block, and no turnovers. I mean, what more can a player do to stay in the game when he's playing well? You know what I mean? What more can you ask for? He played very well, and for the coach to take him out when he's playing well, and not just him, but Rui as well, the players that brought us back to the game, I mean, that's what I dislike, our coaching decisions today, especially at the end of the game. But I like what Goodwin did. Gafford stepped up tonight, especially in the second half. I mean, our bench as a whole, whether it was Gafford, whether it was Will Barton, whether it was Goodwin, Hachimura. I mean, our bench I can't say saved us because we lost the game, but they made our loss look respectable. You know what I mean? So I definitely liked what I saw from. Again, I definitely like what I saw from our bench. I just felt that Coach didn't ride the bench to the end, till the wheels fall off, and I definitely didn't like that. You know what I mean? But I definitely like what I saw from our bench, for sure. What else did I like? I liked Monte Morris's game tonight. I felt that Monte Morris, just study at the point guard position. He was our leading scorer tonight. He didn't have any assists. He didn't have any. He had 1 assist, but that's it. He had 18 points and just 1 assist, a -9 on the plus minus tonight. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to blame Monte for that. He stepped up, scored almost 20 points tonight with Bradley being out. You know what I mean? So I definitely like that he stepped up when we needed him to and score some points. But we need him as a point guard to facilitate the offense. But at the same time, he was getting open shots he was getting players open shots, and they were just missing shots. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not blaming Morris for what our loss tonight. You know what I mean? I felt he played decent tonight. Our offense towards the end of the third quarter and definitely in the fourth quarter, and again with our bench, ran very well, and we had a chance to win if our coaching put aside egos and just stuck with who was making it work. You know what I mean? Giving us a chance to win. That's what the coach should have done tonight, and he didn't do that in the fourth quarter. I'm extremely disappointed in Coach Unsell's coaching decisions, you know what I mean, in regards to that. Like, you got to stay with the hot hand. These players, Kuzma, Porzingis, I mean, Porzingis has been consistent. I'm not going to stun on him. He has been scoring 30-plus points back-to-back games and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But tonight, he just didn't have it the way that we needed him to have it, and we should have kept Gafford in. We should have kept our bench in towards the end, and if we lost, but at least we had the best players of tonight's game in for us to lose. You know what I mean? I already mentioned Rui. I loved our 19-0 run in the third quarter to get us back in the game, man. And that was really the highlight of the game in regards to, you know, just making it competitive. I mean, it was extremely ugly, but for us to get back in the game was based, again, on our bench leading the 19-0 run with Goodwin and Rui Hachimura. We must see Goodwin more, period. There's no reason why we don't see him on the floor. I don't get that. Every time I see him play, he's doing something good, something positive. Why are we not seeing him on the floor more? That's all I liked about tonight's game, man. That's really all I like. You know what I mean? I love seeing the potential of Goodwin as our backup point guard. We've been saying we don't have a backup point guard, but apparently we do. Maybe because his name, maybe not name recognition or whatever, but Coach, you got to give a player a chance, man. Sometimes you got to give people a chance to prove themselves, man. You know what I mean? You just do, man. So that's just going to lead to things that I dislike. Our coaching decisions, Wes Unsell's coaching decisions in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter when we came back and had the lead, took a timeout and put the starters back in that brought nothing to the table. You put the starters back in, and all Porzingis and Kuzma want to do is shoot threes. All they want to do is shoot. How is Porzingis? This is the thing that I had a problem with Porzingis last season, and I thought he was cleaning that up this season. 7-2, 7-3, and he settles for three-point shots over and over again, missing everything. What was it? Hold on, man. Hold on. Porzingis was 1 for 6 from the three-point line, 3 for 13 from the field. Only 10 points tonight. Oh, my God, man. I'm just so disappointed in the Coach Unsell decision, man. I mean, again, man, that is just playing a player because of who he is rather than what he's doing. And to me, that's just bad coaching, man. So I put a lot of this loss on Coach Unsell, especially when he found the formula that got us back in the game, and to not stick with it. I just felt that was foolish, and it was a terrible coaching decision. So that's the first thing I just didn't like tonight. The Grizzlies got hot after they called that timeout when we took the 9-0 run, and I just knew that it was going to get ugly, and it just started to get ugly, and they eventually went up 20-plus points before we figured something out and cut the lead down with our 19-0 run. You know what I mean? But I definitely didn't like just them getting it together the way that they did after our fast start. Our three-point defense, man, I mean, it's just terrible, man. I mean, it's reverting back to, I don't want to say Scott Brooks' days of three-point defense, but for a coach to be hired because of his defensive prowess, and for our team to not be able to stop the three-point shot over game in and game out, other teams just able to shoot the three. Again, man, Coach Unsell, that's why we hired you. That's why the Wizards hired you. It was about defense. And our defense is looking terrible, so I definitely didn't like our defense. And then to double the pain, we couldn't hit threes like usual. We're the worst three-point shooting team in the league. And all we wanted to do, especially our star players, Kuzma, KP, is shoot threes. That's what they wanted to do. They can't shoot threes, but they want to shoot threes, though. What was our percentage from the three-point line tonight, man? 19.5, 8 for 41. Do you see my face right now? Just looking at, I didn't. As bad as it felt, the box score makes it feel even worse. 8 for 41 from the 3-point line. 41 shots from the 3-point line, and we only made 8. 41 shots from the 3-point line. Porzingis attempts 13 shots for the game, and 6 of them are 3-point shots, but he's 7-3 though. But he's 7-3. Coach, if your big man's not gonna fight in the paint and give us anything in the paint, put him on the bench and teach him a lesson. Put him on the bench until he wants to get in the paint and score in the paint like a center's supposed to do. Especially against a small team, especially when Adams went out. The Grizzlies got small, and what Porzingis want to do? Shoot threes. He wants to shoot threes. I was trying to not call Porzingis soft, just weak because of his frame, and he just don't have the girth to battle in the paint the way when you're battling players like Steven Adams, Joel Embiid, you know what I mean? I wasn't calling him soft. I was just saying he's just weak because of his physical, you know what I mean? Like, his body just ain't strong like that. But, man, I'm beginning to be like, yo, he's soft, man. He don't want no problems in the paint. He don't want to bump. He don't want to do nothing. 7-3, and then he only has 4 rebounds. Steven Adams has 10 rebounds. You know what I mean? John Morant has 9 rebounds from the point guard position, and our center only has 4 rebounds. And this is our starting center. I already knew this was going to be a problem. I already knew that our defensive rebounding was going to be a problem because Porzingis is our starting center. I already knew this. But for it to be on full display like this, I mean, he touches the ball and gets it knocked out of his hand so easily. Yo, he's weak and he's beginning to be soft to me, man. And I don't like that. You know what I mean? I really didn't like that. He had no physical presence tonight at all. And then coach puts him in when Gafford's making things work. When our bench is making things work. You put him back in and then we go right back down and lose the game. Terrible coaching. And Porzingis got to play harder, man. If he got to foul, he got to play better, man. Period. He got to play harder, man. Man, Denny, I already mentioned, man, he was just terrible. He's not an NBA offensive player right now, and he's shooting way too many shots. He's missing a lot of threes as well. He tried to get to the basket. How can you miss threes and then you drive to the basket and miss layups? Then what are you good for on offense? You can't hit a J. You can't hit the mid-range. You don't have the 3, and you miss his layups at the basket. Yo, Denny, man. Denny, I saw a lot of potential in you. But right now, you're very disappointing on the floor. He's very disappointing on the floor, so I definitely didn't like what I saw from Denny. I felt the Grizzlies was getting whatever they wanted. You know what I mean? Getting to the basket, scoring in the paint, hitting the 3, just doing whatever they wanted, man. So I definitely didn't like that. I thought Brandon Clark began to, start to do too much in the second quarter. I don't know if shit. He had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. You know what I mean? Plus 5 on the floor. Again, man, I mean, that's their bench, man, just doing whatever they wanted, man. So I definitely didn't like seeing that. KP and Gafford got into foul trouble in the first half, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like that. But again, if KP used the fouls, if you got to use fouls to have some type of presence in the paint, then do so. So I'm not going to be mad at it. But we can't have our starting center and our backup center getting in foul trouble in the first half like that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like that. And then in the second quarter, we just, as a team, just started to fall apart. And that's when the Grizzlies started going up 20+, just doing whatever they want, getting whatever they wanted on offense. Our defense wasn't physical enough. We just looked like we were about to give up. And we all, on Twitter, I'm on Twitter, you know what I mean? I felt a lot of us thought the game was over. People are already turning the channel, things of that nature, you know what I mean? So, again, for us to fight back, especially our bench, have a dog in Goodwin, have even Rui. I ain't gonna call Rui a dog, man, but he's definitely getting tougher. He's definitely getting tougher than he was last season. You know what I mean? Just being more physical out there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So for them to bring us back after us seemingly about to fall apart and not be able to mount a comeback, it showed that we do have some fight in us, man. We just need more fighters, man. Or we need our fighters to be on the floor more. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it might light something in the rest of the team. You know what I'm saying? Grizzlies went up double digits in the second quarter. You know what I mean? Bane started doing too much. Ended the first half with 15. He ended the game with 28 points, 4 assists, and only 1 turnover. You know what I mean? So Bane had a great game against us tonight. You know what I mean? I already mentioned, man, but I'm going to mention it again, man. KP, Porzingis, man, his rebounding is so suspect. It's so terrible. It's so weak for a center. You can't have less. The opposing team's point guard can't have more than double our center on rebounds. That's a recipe for disaster. And their center had 10 rebounds. Steven Adams had 10 rebounds coming back after being out for a bit. You know what I mean? Comes back, you just see the physicality. You see the difference in physicality between Kristaps Porzingis and Steven Adams. You know what I mean? We need a banger in the paint to help us get rebounds. I don't know what our roster, we don't got the, I mean, I like Gafford, but he ain't built like that. What Gafford have? Gafford had 5 rebounds. You know what I mean? 5 to 7 rebounds is what you can expect from Gafford because he's small for a center. You know what I mean? He can jump, he's athletic, but he's small for a center. But with that said, he should have been in the game at the end of the game rather than Kristaps Porzingis bored out, just want to settle for threes. When we need points in the paint, we need the presence in the paint, and our center want to sit back and shoot threes. Man, Porzingis, man, you can't play soft and be weak. You could be weak just because of what it is, your physical, his physical ability, but you can't be soft too. You can't avoid the paint and you're our center. What are we going to do? We don't have no paint presence, man. And I was just very upset with that, yo. The Grizzlies doing too much at a fast break, you know what I'm saying? Before we tightened up towards the end of the third and the fourth quarter. They were just doing whatever they wanted, scoring in multiple ways. So I definitely didn't like that. In the first half, the Grizzlies ended the first half with 6 steals, 12 assists. So that just says we were sloppy with the ball. And we weren't applying any type of pressure on the defensive end. And they were getting good shots. Passing the ball, moving the ball, passing up good shots for better shots. Our defense in the first half was non-existent. They woke up in the second half, and again, our bench was the culprits of the wake-up. You know what I'm saying? Just disappointed that coach didn't understand that, yo, you got to ride the hot hand. You got to ride the people that are playing the way that we need them to play in order to possibly get a win. Oh, man, the third quarter, there were just some terrible, sloppy turnovers. Just careless passing. Just momentum-killing turnovers. I definitely didn't like that, man. Ja Morant, he did what he do, especially in the fourth quarter. Close us out. Started to close us out, man. Again, Goodwin, he played very good defense. Possibly a lot of people saying online he may be our best perimeter defender. I need to see more for me to say that, but I mean, who is a good defender on our perimeter like that? So, you know, it could be all. I just say he don't play enough to get that title. And I don't blame us as fans. I blame coaching for not, I don't know what it, maybe his name, maybe he's a two-way, you know, G League / NBA spot, whatever. But you got to play the players that want to play hard. You want to play the players that are playing like this is their last chance to be in the league. And that's going to probably carry over to the rest of the team. The team that, the players that are getting paid well, and no matter what, they know they're going to get a good check and they're going to get playing time, even if they're not playing up to their potential. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to put players that don't play in to show what it means to be hungry on the floor. And maybe that might wake the rest of the players up. Something needs to happen, yo, because the way we're playing right now is not acceptable. It's not acceptable, man. And then, they closed us out. They had a 9-0 run towards the end of the fourth quarter, man. You know what I'm saying? And they closed us out, and we lost the game, man. So that's everything I dislike. But a lot of it is due to coaching. A lot of it was due to our big three. Big two, Kuzma and Porzingis not producing. When we needed them to produce. They both want to settle for threes, and none of them were hitting threes. And they just didn't get the message like, okay, if I'm not hitting threes, then let me get in the paint and try to score. You know what I'm saying? But no, they just want to keep shooting threes when the game's on the line. And the coach let them do it. Very disappointing. All-around loss. Big kudos to the bench. And hopefully we see the bench more. I mean, especially Goodwin. Like, again, man, we've been led to think we don't have a backup point guard when we really do. But for some reason, our coach doesn't want to play him. But every time he gets in the game, he plays well. I thought you get rewarded for playing well. Very disappointing loss, man. Very disappointing loss. And we got to get it together, man, because the schedule is not going to get any easier. We're falling further below 500. And once you get below 500, it's always hard to climb back to just get to 500. So we got to figure it out, man. Hopefully Bradley Beal gets back. But even if Bradley Beal played tonight, I'm not, like, Bradley Beal's our best player. But Bradley Beal's not the type of player that's an impact type player. Like, he has stretches in games where he plays well. But he's not the type of player like a game changer. He's a very good player. But he's not what the Wizards are trying to make him out to be. The Wizards organization trying to make him be a lead player like a KD or a LeBron or a Giannis. Like, he's nowhere near that level. Even Bane, a good amount of fans are saying Bane is better than Bradley Beal. You know what I'm saying? Bradley Beal should feel insulted that people even think that. You know what I'm saying? So when he gets back, I don't know, but he has to play better. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to come for Bradley Beal tonight because he didn't play tonight. It's not his fault we lost. You know what I'm saying? I blame this a lot on the coaching staff not sticking with what was working towards the end of the game, man. So anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all, man. I'm really upset about this loss, man. I'm really upset about this loss and the Commanders, especially the Commanders loss. But this is not a Commanders show. But, oh, man. I'm so heated with them, man. But anyway, man. Yo, if you enjoyed the content, man, I would really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel at Wizards Review on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at Wizards Review as well. You can follow me, King Ade DMV, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on the Xbox Series X and S NBA 2K23. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, let's try not to keep our heads down low tonight, man. I'm just going to try to forget about this game, and hopefully we come out with a win next game. I don't know what to expect, man. This team is really Jekyll and Hyde, really up and down, very inconsistent, and I don't really know their identity right now. I don't know what they want to do. Are they they can be a three-point shooting team. You can't call them that. You know what I'm saying? Are they a team that wants to play through Porzingis? When they were doing that, playing him through Porzingis in the paint a couple of games ago in Philly, we played well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just hoping that we get back to that, and he's just stopped being so soft and trying to shoot threes all the time and play like a real center. You know what I'm saying? Maybe shoot a three here or there, but if you're not hitting, go to the paint, back a smaller defender down, and try to score in the post. I would respect that more. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. Have a good evening. Enjoy your night. Have a good week as well, and I'll see y'all next time, all right? Take care. Peace.